Fate knocking at the door. V for victory. The most famous sequence of notes in the whole of music, from Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. In this series, we'll discover how the symphony emerged from the world of aristocratic privilege, how it accompanied the rise of nations and the fall of empires, how it became a symbol of freedom and a tool of totalitarianism, how the symphony taught the orchestra how to speak, and how it established itself as the ultimate expression of the composer as an artist. It's an epic journey that takes us from small bands of musicians playing in the palaces of princes to orchestras of well over 100 performing in vast concert halls. But how ultimately, alongside these public statements, it became the vehicle for the most profound expression of private thoughts and emotions that we, the audience, can understand and relate to today. Above all, it's the story of great composers. In this first episode, we'll meet Ludwig van Beethoven, the epitome of the great composer, the artist as hero.
I think he felt that he had an heroic capacity as a creator to take music to a place that nobody thought it could ever go.
Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, the genius who wrote his first symphony at the age of 8. And Joseph Haydn, the giant of 18th century music, who was dubbed the father of the symphony. It's New Year's Day, 1791. The Austrian composer Joseph Haydn, 58 years old, in rude health, is sailing from Calais to Dover. It's a voyage that will take a full 10 hours. He'd left home a month earlier. This is his first trip beyond the borders of his home in a small corner of the vast Austro-Hungarian Empire, leaving the security of 3 decades of service as a court musician for the aristocratic Esterhazy family. He's jolted over 800 miles in a horse-drawn coach. Bad weather, bad roads, probably bad food. And across Europe, the rumblings from the aftermath of the French Revolution are still being heard. Haydn was, as ever, pragmatic, but he was also very excited. I remained on deck, he said, so as to gaze my fill of that mighty monster, the ocean. Then, when the highest waves were whipped up by the wind, I became a little frightened. But I overcame it all and arrived on shore without, excuse me, vomiting. He's come with a large trunk of scores, but unfortunately, during the chaos of the luggage transfer, he's lost one vital symphonic manuscript. But this epic journey was nearly over. In just 2 days' time, he'd be welcomed into London, more than welcomed. He'd be received as the first ever bona fide musical superstar. His first 6 months will be non-stop, contracted to deliver 6 symphonies and already missing 1 score. But Haydn is no ordinary composer. He is the most extraordinary of ordinary men. And here he is, Joseph Haydn, painted in the year of his arrival in England in 1791 by the society portraitist John Hopner on the orders of King George III himself. That's a sign of the man's celebrity. Haydn came from a humble background, but here he holds himself with immense self-assurance. And is there the sharp light of curiosity in his eyes? Haydn was always enthusiastic about exploring the world around him. Today, his name is associated above all with the symphony, the form which he, more than anybody else in the 18th century, worked to develop. In his hands, the symphony became what the dictionary now defines it as, a large-scale work, usually in 4 sections or movements, and regarded as the most exalted form a composer can use. And his London symphonies were to bring the works of his genius to the widest possible audience.
Haydn had this capacity to write music that would speak immediately to all hearers. What comes out more than anything else is a sense of a new sound world.